Welcome back for another top-notch video. This week, guys, we'll be talking about the week of 21 June through 25 June. As always, the top-notch channel is about the TSP or the Thrift Savings Plan. We also talk about the Roth IRA and brokerage accounts. What that composes of for those Thrift Savings Plan users is the C, S, I, and F fund. If you're in Roth IRA or brokerage accounts, we talk about the ETFs, IVV, VXF, EFA, and AGG. If you're wondering what those represent or what they equal, this one up here is the S&P 500. This one's small caps. This was international markets. And the last one here is bonds. We do a very general overview, show you guys where the funds are for the week. Then we do a very technical analysis of those funds. One thing we want to do before we jump into this channel is show you guys where we are at on the Top Notch channel. We pulled up our account balance for our Thrift Savings Plan this last week. Hit a major milestone. As you can see here down towards the bottom, we hit triple digits here, guys. Really good. Six-figure digits. Excellent. So hit that six-figure digits really good. Our return rate for the year is 15.4% over a 12-month period. So we're sitting very good. We're very happy where we are. If you guys like what you see on the screen, please like, subscribe, or share. Let's get right into the video. So the first thing we like to look at is the Thrift Savings Plan TSP Talk website. Look where our funds were for the week. So as you can see here, the F fund was down this past week. The C fund had a giant week at 2.7%. S fund had a huge week, 4% for the week, guys, and the I fund was up 1.5% for the week. Huge for our stock market funds. If you know where we sit in the Top Notch channel, we did very well this past week. As far as commentary, our broad overview, let's move into that next. So what are we seeing here on the Top Notch channel? Tommy V does some comments on the TSP Talk website. Please check that out. But some very interesting things, guys, here. As you can see, some of the charts that they pulled up here. Last week, we were kind of in this dip area. We thought it might come down to the 50-day moving average and take off. Sure enough, it did that. It did bounce. It didn't get all the way down there, but it did bounce. Now, we are in an upward movement here. We did break this trend line. That is a positive sign for IVV or the C fund. Good things moving forward. Our S fund, what did we see here? We saw this kind of triple top here. We were kind of nervous as this fund broke down. We thought it might hit this 50-day moving average and bounce off. Sure enough, it did that, and guess what? It broke that triple top. We are now above here. That's a very bullish sign. Very good things moving forward for the S fund or VXF small caps. As far as EFA goes, what are we seeing on this fund? Had a major breakdown this week. We did hit this thing. Did see some bounce back on this, which was good, but it's starting to form a bear flag. Bear flags tend to be bearish in nature, and they tend to break down. So this isn't always not the most positive chart. As you know, we'll kind of do some analysis towards the end of what we're going to do with this to mitigate risk on the Top Notch channel for the I fund or EFA. And last but not least, we have bonds. What are we seeing with bonds? We are above that 200-day moving average for bonds. Very good here. Charts tend to be bouncing off that, trying to find some ground. We do have this open gap all the way back here from February. Hoping to see that get filled in the future. I would hope in the next month or so. We'll have to wait and see where things go from there. So let's move into our technical analysis for the show. We're going to move to IVV. This is the C fund for those in the Thrift Savings Plan. What are we seeing for technical analysis? Well, as you can see here, we've had these trend lines drawn for a very long time. This blue and purple line all the way since last November. Charts have reacted very well in these trend lines. Last week, we kind of saw it come down and dip. We did not want to break from that because we thought possibly that charts could bounce off of that. Sure enough, they did. They did not break that trend line. They bounced off, and they are moving forward once again. We are at an all-time high with the C fund. Things are very, very good for IVV or that C fund. On a technical analysis, we look at a few things. This chart may look for a little bit different for you that are new to the channel, but we like to look at two indicators. We like to look at the derivative oscillator. That's that one in green there, so green bars and red bars. Typically, when green goes down into red, price, which is up here, tends to go down. And when red goes back into green, price tends to rise. That's our first indicator we like to look at. Our second indicator we like to look at is called the PPO, or price percentage oscillator. That's when that blue line is above the red or the moving average. Price tends to go up or up here. And then when blue line moves below the red line, price tends to go down a little bit. We look at those two indicators and we give you guys a stoplight mentality of where we see ourselves in funds. And so we like to look at it as red light, don't be in the fund, yellow light, cautious, and green light should all go for the fund. So we give that analysis every single week on short-term and long-term charts. So let's dig right into it. For IVV long-term charts, what are we seeing on the weekly chart? So this is long-term charts for the C fund. As you can see here, guys, we are moving a little bit into the red here. Not very positive sign for our derivative oscillator. That's not so positive, and that's not so positive. This is a negative red light chart for right now. I think it will change in the future, but until then, we have to trade the chart in front of us. So we are not involved in this fund for the long-term basis for IVV or the C fund. Short-term charts, things really did take off this last week. As you can see here, charts really blew up from the 22nd to the 23rd, just really out of the water. Derivative oscillator way in the positive. Price percentage oscillator way in the positive. Good things, 2 green light signs for the short-term basis. I would say you kind of missed your boat on this one though, and I would hold off and be cautious on this fund, but it is a green light fund on the short-term basis for IVV if you're going to put in for just a week or so for this fund. Let's move on to our next fund, which is VXF or the S fund. What are we seeing on this fund? Look at this, guys. 1, 2, 3, almost 4 tops here. A lot of tops. This chart is really trying to break where we see ourselves on this thing, and I think it'll possibly do that. We'll see it on the technical analysis here, but this has been in place for a very long time, almost the full year here, trying to break that top, trying to make new highs on the S fund or VXF. And let's take a look at it for a technical analysis. We use the exact same charts, long-term charts. We look at these 2 oscillators. What is going on? As you guys can see here, we have not been in the green here on this oscillator for quite some time. Early February, mid-February, been in the red, had a fake out here in May, and now we're coming out of that once again. This is a very positive, good sign here. We're getting very close here. This is a yellow light. Proceed with caution. Could see a lot of really good things. Price Bollinger Bands, these are really close together. Usually we see a big price move with that. This is green. This is yellow. This is kind of yellow to red. So this is a yellow. Proceed with caution chart for me, guys, on the S fund. I think it's one fund worth investing into for VXF or the S fund. Short-term basis, let's look at it. What are we seeing here? Wow, look at this week, guys. Fantastic week. As you can see, it really reflects what we saw in the charts for this week. This was the fund that outperformed all other funds for the week at 4%. That is huge, and it really reflects that on this chart here. Look at this price movement. Straight up, all green bars, very good things for price. Our derivative oscillator is in the positive, is in the green here. That's a green sign. Price percentage oscillator is blue above red. That is a green sign. That is a go. That is a green chart for the short-term basis for VXF. Good buy, in my opinion, moving forward. Let's move into our next chart, which is EFA. EFA, International Markets, the I fund for those in the Thrift Savings Plan. What are we seeing here? Still within our trend line, still doing very well here, but like I showed you on this other chart, kind of see kind of a bearish flag when we zoom in on that. Not a positive thing here for charts. Kind of want to avoid that. I think there are some better charts to be involved in regards to EFA. So anywhere below these moving averages, these pink and yellow, orange line, that could be a little bit of resistance. So we're gonna we'll show you a little bit later on, but we're gonna reallocate some of our funds this weekend to make a better choice for our funds. Let's look at it from a technical analysis for EFA. Long-term charts, same indicators. What are we seeing on these charts? This is what I don't like to see, guys. On the long-term charts, our derivative oscillator is moving down here. Not a positive thing for that. Hoping that that's just not a positive sign. And our price percentage oscillator is also down below that moving average. That is a red light chart. Want to stay out of that fund for long-term basis. Short-term basis, what are we seeing, guys? Positive on this chart if you were to get involved for just a little bit, but be cautious. Look at these giant drop-offs we're being seen in the last couple of days, and typically with a bear flag, we tend to see big drop-offs with that. So just be very caution-ish with that, but I'm hoping that we can see some things in the future with this fund, but right now, based off the long-term charts and what we're seeing in the patterns with charts, I would just proceed with caution on this chart. So that's a yellow light, or proceed with caution for EFA. Last but not least, we're going to move to bonds. What are we seeing with bonds, guys? Very interesting chart. As you can see, slowly but surely, it's starting to make its way back up here. Really hoping to see it cross the 200-day moving average or reach these gaps up here in the future. Like I mentioned on this chart earlier, we really want to see it hit this gap back here we saw in February. See if I can find that for you here. There it is right there. That's that gap we want to see it. Still way below that. We're seeing this line in here. Could be a little bit of resistance. Let's look at it on charts for AGG or the F fund for TSP users. as you can see here, we are currently, this is not a positive thing. We're going on the derivative oscillator, that one in green at the bottom there. We went from 5.2 to 5.1, slowly starting to decline a little bit now. That is a cautionary early warning sign there. And this is a green chart here. I would say proceed with caution. Yellow light for this fund for the time being. What are we seeing on the short-term charts? Short-term charts, we're seeing a lot of negative here, guys. This is just this is what we like to call a fake out. Moves from red back into red. Here, that is a fake out. We went from negative 1.3 to negative 1.8, negative to 2.4. Really bad things here. Price percentage oscillator way below that red line there, guys. Very negative signs, 2 negative signs. Red light, do not get into this fund in the short-term basis. Guys, that is all of our funds for this week. We're super stoked that we were able to hit that 100K mark, six-figure marks for our account. That's the first time ever. We are really excited about that. Overall, our return for the year is over the last 12 months is really good. We're really happy with that 15%. And now we show you guys kind of where we are allocated on the top-notch fund. So if we go down to this fund here, as you can see, we've been hanging out in VXF and EFA for a while. We're going to go ahead and change that allocation. We're going to take that fund out. If you are in the TSP, we're going to go ahead and move that over to the S fund, or for those in the Roth IRA, VXF. This is small caps. We're going to go ahead and put 100% in that fund this weekend. You can make that move on the Thrift Savings Plan for those of you guys involved in there. We really think that's a good move. We'll see where things go from there, but we feel pretty confident about that S fund moving forward. Charts look really good. Guys, that is everything for our channel. Please like, subscribe, or share. We really appreciate you guys every week. That's another top-notch video. We'll see you guys next time.